There's no such thing as a boring job here in the Royal Society Library. Even when you wind the clocks, it's fascinating.
It's exciting, Brady.
It's clock winding time. We've got clocks around the building that need tending to. First cab off the rank, and this is a special clock, isn't it, Keith? What is this?
It is. This, you can see, is by John Shelton. His maker's name's on the front, on the face of the clock there, and it has a Royal Society number on it, which means it's part of the 18th century Royal Society collection. And this particular clock went round the world with Captain James Cook.
This is Captain Cook's clock.
Indeed, yes. HMS Endeavour, he took this timepiece with him, and off it went to Australia. They would have packed it down, of course. They would have got it out particularly to observe the transit of Venus on Tahiti. That's really what they wanted it for. And that's why it's on this tripod arrangement. It's how it would have sat in the tent in Tahiti when they were doing their astronomical observations.
Well, it's time to wind it. How often does it have to be wound?
Well, we tend to do it once a week because it's easier to remember that way.
And the person whose job it is to wind it today is Kat?
Kat, yep. Kat's the clock winder for Shelton. There we go. And opening the face, which is where the real winding business gets done.
Kat does speak, by the way. She's just not a show-off like Keith and I, so she's letting us rabbit on.
And we're going to check the time.
Oh, yeah. Little correction there. What was it off by, Kat? Just a minute or two?
A minute, yeah.
Okay. That's it. How many turns?
Until it rises to the...
Can I do one?
Yeah, there you go.
Just a nice even turn, Brady. Just keep going in a circle.
And as I'm turning, if people look here, you see that bob is rising. Oh wow! I can't believe I'm winding Captain Cook's clock. Sorry, Kat. I know that's you. You can continue.
That should do it fine. I don't think that's enough.
The clock is locked. Thank you very much. What's next?
Job done. Well, we have another Shelton and a Thomas Tompion clock to look at. So let's go and do some more winding.
Okay, Keith, now we've come upstairs here to the Fellows room. This is a very special room in the building where Fellows of the Royal Society can congregate and drink tea and talk science.
That's right.
And, well, that is a clock and a half they have here.
It is a clock and a half. So Thomas Tompion, who made this clock, is 17th to early 18th century. That's when he's working. And he worked with some of the early fellows of the Royal Society. So people like Robert Hooke would have been very interested in his instruments. And it's time to wind Tompion. So this isn't one that belonged to the Royal Society back in the 17th century. It was actually donated later, and you can see it has a 1 month movement from the plaque there, and tells you a little bit about Tompion. He's the master of the clockmakers company, very important clockmaker. And on the back of the door here you'll see another one. So this is given to the Royal Society in memory of one of the Society's officers, Alfred Charles Glyn Egerton, who died in 1959. He was a secretary of the Royal Society and a Rumford medallist. So let's just open the face of the clock. And the whole pillar comes away. This one's different, so you'll see the central pendulum there, but you'll also see two weights, so we have to wind this one twice, which is very exciting.
Okay.
Let's just pop that down.
Oh yeah, and these little holes opened.
That's right, so in we go. Give that a wind.
Can I give it a turn, Keith? You know I love the feeling.
Of course, off you go.
Oh yeah, very satisfying.
That'll do nicely.
Do I check this back to 1/4 past?
If that's the correct time, then yes.
Roughly. Okay, well last but not least, we're now in the office of the President of the Royal Society. We have a new President since we last filmed in this room. It's now Venki Ramakrishnan.
Correct.
He's new in the job. He's still decorating the place, but he has the clock and it needs winding.
It does, and I think now that you're experienced in winding clocks, Brady, let's get you to do the honours.
That's jumping in the deep end.
Just so we can see the pendulum and the bobs in there.
Okay, here we go. This is another John Shelton clock.
That's right, so similar period to the Cook clock. And yes, if you just turn that, that'll come up quite nicely.
Okay, and now if I pull this lever down,
that's right.
I'm expecting this hole here will open.
Yep.
There we go.
And then you just need the winding handle, so you just very carefully put that in so you don't scratch the silvering. That's correct.
So there we go. I'm turning it. Up comes the bob. Really clicky.
There's something oddly satisfying about it.
Take that out. Do I push this lever back, or does
No,
it?
that will do it on its own. That'll automatically just click back into place.
Okay. The clocks are wound. Our job here is done.
The society can proceed on track.
Exactly. She's written this report about electrical arcs. These are glowing reviews. I mean, the key question that all these reviewers are asked is, should this paper be published in Philosophical Transactions? And they're all saying yes, in full, yes.
Yeah. No modifications were necessary. Yes.
Yeah.
She got it all right.
There is some criticism, fair. The style is a bit diffuse. I think they're saying she's a bit wordy. I think they're saying she didn't necessarily always cut to the chase,
Yeah.
but that's just writing style, isn't it?
Okay, yeah.
Let's get to this paper.